So as we always do, let's do the injury report first. And there was some good news, there was some bad news on this injury report. Obviously, Byron Maxwell is still hurt. So is Jelani Jenkins. And obviously, Ryan is not coming back for this game, which I think in the back of some people's minds, they thought maybe he could come back for this game or possibly the playoffs. But I don't think he's coming back for either game, which is a big hit to the team, and it really is. Mario Williams is actually getting really healthy, even though he struggled with an ankle injury, I think it is, for most of the year. He struggled really hard with it, and that is what he says contributes to his poor play. I mean, he's literally like the fourth string. I mean, he gets barely any snaps on defense. So, yeah, so that's about it. For the Patriots, there's nothing really too serious. Cyrus Jones, knee, cornerback for the Patriots, did not practice after being limited Wednesday, and running back Dion Lewis was removed from the injury report after missing Wednesday with an illness. So that's basically it. So Tom Brady also returned. He had a knee injury, something nagging him. So let's get into the stats. And as we always do, we start with the Dolphins. Points, we are 16th in with 23 a game. Yards, 22nd, 336 yards a game. Pass yards, 26 with 219 a game. Rush yards, 9th with 116 a game. Now, obviously, this has been affected and altered by injuries, but we've been a very effective passing team in terms of making big plays in the passing game. Obviously, huge plays in the running game as well. So, yeah. A little bit affected by injuries, and obviously that's been a big part of the season. And it's a testament to Adam Gase to overcome those injuries. So let's get to the Patriots. Now, obviously, this is going to be like pretty good. Their offense has been pretty good all year. So points, they are 5th in with 27 a game. Yards, they are 5th in with 385 a game. Pass yards, they have 268. That ranks them 4th in the league. Rush yards, they are 8th with 116. We're basically right around the same in terms of rushing a game. We're like right dead on with each other. We're 9th and they're 8th. I'm pretty sure. So let's get into this. So now, obviously, this is for a lot of stuff. We could move up a seed if we win this game, and obviously if the Chiefs lose, which is kind of ironic because they helped us get into the playoffs by beating the Denver Broncos. So this is a big game for a lot of reasons. Seeding, who we're gonna play. This is a very, very, very big game, especially, and it also is also a huge game for the Patriots. Last year, we took home field advantage away from them when they came down to Miami. This year, they're looking for the same thing. They're looking for the number 1 seed. So it's a very, very big game, and it's the biggest game played in Miami in I'm gonna say, it's probably the biggest game in the last 15 to 10 years. I would have to say. I could be off a little bit on that, maybe 10 years. This is a huge game, and it means a lot. And this is, like I said, the importance of this game is pretty awesome. That we're going to be playing in a game this important to the playoffs. This could affect the who goes to the Super Bowl, for God's sakes. This game could literally affect that. And last year it did too. If we don't beat the Patriots, maybe the Denver Broncos don't win the Super Bowl. Maybe they don't even get to the Super Bowl. So this is a big game with a lot of, this is a rivalry. This is a lot of people talk, the Rex Ryan and Bill Belichick and everything. Like, this has been, to me, the biggest. We have been the biggest competitors with them in terms of us beating them. We haven't lost to the Patriots at home since Ryan Tannehill. Since after Ryan Tannehill, I think the only time Ryan lost to the Patriots at home was his rookie season. Since then, I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. Since then, we've not dominated them. It's been close games. Ryan's had a couple of fourth quarter comebacks against them. In one game winning drive. So Ryan has made a lot of plays against this team. They like to play a lot of man coverage zone on Ryan. They like to mix it up. They like Matt Patricia is a very good defensive coordinator. Likes to mix it up. But Ryan has made plays with his legs. If you remember last season, it came down to Ryan Tannehill rushing for a first down. It was like a 3rd and extremely long. It was like a 3rd and 15 to really put away the game at that point. Ryan had an amazing game. Devontae Parker, if you can remember, Logan Ryan really struggled to guard him that game. The run game was very, 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 very alive in that game also with Lamar Miller. Deion Sims also had a big catch in that game. The defense was so physical. The Patriots offense came into that game knowing that our run defense had struggled all season, and what the Patriots like to do, at heart, the Patriots, at their core, the Patriots are a power run team with a lot of quick passing. That's what they like to do. That's what they are. And that's how they've built their roster. But they also love to adjust their scheme to whoever they play. Like, say they play the Bills. They know the Bills love to. Some people are on an island on the Bills, and they pass 50 times a game on the Bills because they blitz a lot and they leave a lot of one-on-one matchups there that they like. Say that they play us. Like last year as an example, they know that we struggle against the run, so they became a power run first team, and we really rose up to the occasion in that game. The only defensive lapse we had the last time we played them was James White. Was bad tackling was basically the only reason they scored some points there. But again, I said it always came down to Ryan. If you remember, one of my favorite games of the last whatever how many years was on my birthday. It was in Miami, and I can't remember. This was Ryan's second year, I'm pretty sure. It came down to Marcus Thingpen over Dante Hightower. Or who, I can't remember, but was it Brandon Spikes? I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody. It was Ryan's perfect throw and a beautiful throw to Rashard Matthews. So it has come down, and the only other game that I can think of that it didn't come down, it came down to the second half. I think it was in Ryan's third year, if I'm not mistaken, or his fourth year. I can't crap and remember right now, but it was yeah. So I think it was that particular game where we just absolutely dominated them in the second half. That was like the first game of the year, if I'm not mistaken. So like I said, it always came down to Ryan making a big play in the fourth quarter, or something happening. Obviously, Michael Thomas with the interception, that was the biggest play of that game. I'm referring to Ryan's second year. So it always has come down to the fourth quarter. The Patriots this season have really struggled on the road, and a great example of that was against the Jets. Now, the Jets have been terrible all year. Their team and our locker room has been all over the place, to say the least. It's been very discombobulated. It's been very, not very team-like, I guess you could say. So they went down to New York to play the Jets, and barely got out of there with a win. And credited the Jets' defense. That defensive line is very good, but that secondary is pretty crap and terrible. I hate saying that word, but anyway, the point is the Jets secondary is god awful, and they still barely got out of there with a win. So they have really struggled on the road all season, and obviously the contrast to that, when the Jets played them at home, the Patriots beat them like 40. They dropped 40 something points on them. So yeah, it's a big difference when they play whether they're on the road. When they're on the road in their home, obviously it's a very hard place to play in Gillette Stadium. So all that was the kind of setup to kind of give you guys and I don't have to give you people, you guys should know, but it's just to kind of give you that feeling of how good we have played them at home, and we've been the most consistent competitor in terms of consistently winning in one place, whether that be one place or not, against the Patriots, in a division that has been dominated by New England, obviously, for a lot of years now, but, you know what I mean, we bother them more than anybody else, and a lot of that had to do with Rashard Jones and the matchup problems that he brings with Rob Gronkowski. He's one of the only few people that can guard him. But as I said, and I'm talking about other than the Denver Broncos, have bothered the Patriots more. It's been us and the Broncos for the last 5 years. So yeah, to set that up, and like I said, Ryan did play a huge part in those games. If you go back and watch the second year that he played against him, some of the throws he made were absolutely immaculate. Like, I don't understand how Rashard Matthews was very, very raw back then, and he made some plays in that game to win us that game. But the point is, let's start. So saying all that, let's get into previewing this particular game and this particular team and this particular year. So, as I said, the Patriots really suck on the road, and they're terrible. They're pretty. Compared to what they are at home, they're pretty terrible on the road. So, coming down to Miami, what they're going to do, like I said, they love to scheme to people's weaknesses. Now, whether that, I don't know, to this year is a little different than last year. We had some of the same struggles, but this year we were very hurt at linebacker and safety. Obviously, Issa Abdul-Quddus went down last week. He's out for the rest of the year and playoffs. That's a huge hit on so many levels, because now we got Bakari Rambo, Michael Thomas. Our special teams unit took a huge hit now that Michael Thomas isn't there anymore. That's a big problem. That's a huge problem. That is a big problem. Michael Thomas, one of the best special team players, probably are the best in the division. Michael Slater and him, the best in the division, best in the AFC, for God's sakes. Those two guys are very, very, very special in special teams. Now that he's getting a full-time role as a starter on defense, he's not going to be able to get on special teams as much. So there's a lot of moving parts here, a lot of moving pieces. Now, obviously, we have struggled, like I just said. Are they going to attack us with Martellus Bennett? Last time we played them up in New England, that happened. But for some reason, last season, the game plans were different. Because when we played them when we were on the road, when we played them at Gillette, they passed it all over the field. When we played them, when they came down here, they just ran it. They were just running power run team. So yeah, I don't know what to expect when they come down here, but as best I can, I'm gonna try to guess what they're gonna do. So maybe they look at the safety problems that we've had. Maybe they look at the things that we've. So I know that's what they're looking at. Matchups with linebacker, safeties. I think that's what they're going to attack. I think they're trying to get Martellus Bennett involved as much as they can. I do think they're going to run the ball a lot this game with James White, Deion Lewis, like Garrett Blunt. I do think they're going to try to get the run game going. They've done that against a lot of football teams. But we have got to put on pressure on Tom Brady. That's one of the. And again, bringing it back to past games. That's been one of the biggest. Achilles heel for the Patriots is Cameron Wake has bothered them for years. Okay, for years. Getting pressure on Tom Brady, making sure he knows he's there every single time he snaps that ball. There's a pressure, there's a hurry, there's a sack. Very, very, very. A lot of those wins, especially that third season, the third game, and I'm using Ryan so I can remember what games they are. But Ryan's third year, that game was that Cameron Wake won us that game. So Cameron Wake in all of the games, to be honest, has made plays. Like I said, when you hit Tom Brady, you saw it with the Denver Broncos. It affects him. It really, really does. It affects the timing of that offense on a very, very high level. Like it affects everything on that offense. So if Sue Wake put some hits on him, make him throw it a little earlier than he wants to, because we saw what happens when we give that Patriots offense time. It's not a fun thing to watch. Tackling is going to be a very, very big thing this game. We've struggled with it a lot this season, and a lot last season too. It's been a theme. We've struggled at guarding running back coming out of the backfield, whether it be a safety valve route, whether it be a hot route, whether that be just an angle route coming out of the backfield. We've struggled with it, and a lot of that has not been, we see him catch the ball, right? It would be like, let's say it's a 3rd and 8. Kiko Alonso. Now, as a defense, what are you supposed to do? You let them catch it underneath, and what do you got to do after that? You got to come up and tackle. To get the team off the field. It's an easy way to get a team off the football field. We've struggled with doing that the whole season. Kiko Alonso has struggled with that. Everybody has struggled with that. The best tackling players on our linebacker unit have been Mike Hull, who has barely played at all, played one game this year, and a little bit of the Ravens game. He's played some, but he has, obviously you know what I'm talking about. And Spencer Paysinger. Those are the two best tacklers on our team. Neville Hewitt, he's shown that he can tackle now. But in the past, he's struggled at it as well. And Neville Hewitt had a big game against them last season too. Neville Hewitt has been very good in pass coverage. Neville Hewitt is a very good coverage linebacker. He's just not an all-around linebacker. He's very small. He's not a very big guy. And he said in interviews before, I have struggled with getting in between the tackles. I've struggled with against the run. That's one of the most things he's trying to work on. And if he can do that, if he can become that kind of linebacker, he'll be one of the best in the AFC, one of the best in the NFL. He'll be making a lot of Pro Bowls. So it's going to come down to that. And now it's going to come down to guarding Martellus Bennett. And listen, Vance Joseph knows how to cover somebody. Like you saw that against the Bills and LaShawn McCoy. Every time Shady caught that football, there was at least 4 people there. The only time, so Vance knows how to game plan, and I'm not worried about that. So hopefully Vance knows the weaknesses of this defense more than anybody. But again, last week, when we were playing the Bills, he put us in some very, very good defenses, and we just couldn't execute because of the players on the field. So now the defense is out of the way. Let's talk about the offense. Now, like I said, in past games, the offense has made some, especially at the quarterback position, Ryan Tannehill has made some plays, whether that be rushing for a first down, or whether that be making a play on man coverage where you got to make a throw and fit in an extremely tight window. You gotta use your legs. Whether Ryan, that's what he does, and it's bothered the Patriots defense. He's been a playmaker against that defense. Matt Moore is gonna have to do that with his arm. Now, a lot of people are like, the way Matt Moore has struggled is you take the deep routes away. Let's say if I was, this is some things that Matt struggles with. You take the deep routes away. You make him be patient. You make him throw it underneath. You make him look for that second, third receiver. You make him not, be able to one-on-one on the outside throwing it deep. You make him want to do that. Now, one of the things you can do to take that away for the defense is, that's why Matt's been very, very, very good these last couple of weeks, because there is an extra guy in the box. That safety is down in the box now. He's creeping up. So Matt you can now use Matt to his strengths, which is his deep ball ability, that big home run ball. So to do that, what do you have to do to get that safety down? And what have we been good at all year? And that's running the football. So we have to be able to run the football against the Patriots. So we don't have to rely on Matt of winning us the game. That's going to be the biggest emphasis on offense. Now, we passed it all over the place the first time Adam met Bill Belichick at Gillette Stadium. We almost won that game. We should have, if it wasn't for a couple fumbles. We probably would have won that game. Ryan Tannehill throwing it all over the place. Devontae Parker, Juice had a 100-yard game, and we were pretty close to winning that game. So maybe we come out passing it. I don't know what Adam's going to do. I hope it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. I think the run is going to be very, very big in this game, because if I was Adam, I want that safety to come up, because I know if he does, Matt's going to have a really good game. So I would want to set up Jay Ajayi. Now, hopefully Jay's got one more in him. Hopefully Jay looks back. Last time you played him like, oh, I fumbled. I may have cost us that game. Maybe he's looking for a little revenge. Maybe he's looking for, a little something. Maybe, but again, he's not. I don't know how healthy he is. That's the only thing. And we're developing a three-headed monster in terms of a backfield. It's kind of like Larry Zonka, Jim Kick, and Mercury Morris. Now we have Damian Williams, Jay Ajayi, and Kenyon Drake. A little three-headed monster that we've kind of developed down here. So, yeah, I would look for the running game to be a very, very big factor. And like I said before, hopefully we can get that safety to creep up a little bit, and Matt can have a big game. And hopefully Devontae Parker, and I probably didn't mention this enough, Devontae Parker is very. I dare you to play man coverage on Devontae Parker, because he's a very good wide receiver, and so is Jarvis Landry. So yes, so I would hopefully, hopefully we can establish the run. Hopefully Jay's got one more in him. One more in him, man. And I hate to say that because the playoffs are like right around the corner, but hopefully he's got like 2 or 3 more in him, because we really need him to be big in this game. Jay's gonna be a very big fat. How good has Jay Ajayi been this whole, this whole season? If you look at it, he should be in consideration for MVP. He should be at least nominated. Like if there was a nomination for MVP or honorable mention, Jay Ajayi should have an honorable mention for MVP. He really should. He's carried this offense. And and the only thing I would say about Jay Ajayi in terms of MVP, even a nomination, is he did have that slump between, a couple games, or more than a couple games, there's a few games. He had that slump, but when it counted the most, when we needed it the most, Jay Ajayi was there. So, yeah. So, and like I've said, if you're not a hardcore NFL fan, you wouldn't have known that the Dolphins took away home field advantage from the New England Patriots. You wouldn't know that kind of stuff. You wouldn't know that the Dolphins have bothered the Patriots for years now at home in Miami. You wouldn't know that kind of stuff if you're not a hardcore fan or you're a Dolphins fan. So, in those games, there were a lot of stuff on the line. It wasn't like the Patriots, we don't have to win this game. No, they had to win that game to get home field advantage. So, we've played them when a lot of the stuff was on the line. This game's no different from the past games, except this is a little bit more mainstream. This is a little bit more, and a lot of it's a little bit more for us. We get a little bit more out of it for us. Like Ryan's second year, if we don't win that game, we're not competitive for the playoffs. And that year we should have made the playoffs, but this year is no different. There's a lot of stuff on the line this game. So like I said, this is a big game. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be a very, very big game. Emotions are going to be running high. It's going to be a very, very big game. And hopefully, I can't wait to watch this game. It's going to be very interesting. JJ has been a hoot all year. He's been a very, very fun player to watch. We have so much to look forward to in the future. And I can't wait to do my season review, reviewing the whole season as a whole video, because that's going to be very fun to do after this season. What to look forward to in the future. So I can't wait to do that, and I can't wait to watch this game. So yeah, that is going to be it, guys. I am SkyX83, and I will see you guys in the next one.